Welcome back, 575-2600 on the Bordas and Bordas hotline. Also, your tweets at Josh Taylor HG. Let's jump back into the phone lines. Gene and Gallitzin. Gene, you're the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah.
Hello, Gene.
Hello.
What you got for me?
Yeah, so would the Pirates will get a second baseman in the trade deadline, you know?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Would the Pirates get a second baseman?
I hope so. I hope they do. Me personally, who would I like to see the Pirates get at second base? I'd be thrilled if it was a Brian Dozier. Do I think they'll get a Brian Dozier? Probably not. Would have loved to see them get a Brian Dozier. I think he's a guy that would be really, really great for this team. Brian Dozier's a second baseman with a bat that I like to call a portable bat because it plays anywhere. He's a guy who hits for considerable power at that position. I think he'd be a great addition to this team. However, a lot of people are thinking that maybe Adam Frazier has that job sewn down. I had that sentiment by the end of the season. If you're going to bring in a second baseman, the next question is, where does Adam Frazier go? Is he going in right field, maybe to take some of that time while Gregory Polanco gets himself together and gets healthy? Is it him? Is it the Life of Pablo season? Is that going on? Not really sure to mention. I'd love to see a guy like Brian Dozier come in. But it really does come down to, what do the Pirates think about Adam Frazier? What do they think about his possibilities of being an everyday second baseman, and do they think he is the guy moving forward, or do they have other plans for him? The fact that he can do a lot of different things kind of makes him a commodity at this point, considering the fact that they have some decisions they have to make, especially with that right field position. Also, considering the fact that Adam Frazier is a guy that not only continues to hit consistently throughout the course of last season, but I thought his defense got a lot better as the past couple seasons went on, especially at second base. So we will have to just see how things go with that. Let's go to Nick in Penn Hills. Nick, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Yeah, Josh, thanks for taking my call. You know what? I think that the Pitts Bowl situation today took a bad hit, because you know you're probably going to lose next week to Clemson, okay? Let's hope not, but you probably are. And today I think it was a more important game, because today would have made Pitt 8-4, and now you're 7-5, okay? And that's not a real attractive bowl number, like you were just talking earlier, you know. And it's, I think that lowered them to a lower bowl. I don't know what you think. I'm from Penn Hills. We had a great win last night in Penn Hills. Thank you, Josh.
Shout out to the Indians, WPIL champs, first time since 1995. I know Rich Walsh is a happy guy tonight. To answer your question, I don't know if it hurt Pitt that considerably, considering the fact that they're in the ACC and looking at how it's structured. I actually talked about this earlier in the day also on the radio. But the way the bowl situation usually stacks up, Pitt being a division champion is still in a preferable place. That's the thing that sticks out. Their record at 7-5 might not be great, but they're a division champion, so that comes into play. The last projection I saw before the games were played today was, I believe, on SportsIllustrated.com. They had Pitt in the Pinstripe Bowl. I don't think that will change much, despite losing today and losing to Clemson, if that is to happen, because that same projection had Clemson in the college football playoff. So I guess they're assuming that Clemson wins the ACC championship. If that's the case, Pitt in the Pinstripe Bowl, I don't think it would have made much of a difference between 7-5 or 8-4. The thing that would make a difference as far as Pitt in a better bowl game would be winning the ACC championship. That's where the big dynamic shift happens. Other than that, you're still looking at a conference where you have a champion. If Clemson wins, they're in the playoff. Pitt becomes that team out of the Coastal, at the top of the Coastal. But after that, there's a pecking order. Pitt's probably still in the same spot. It probably does not move that much as far as them sliding downward. So I don't know if that outcome is much different unless they win the conference championship. Then their potential to move up is a lot greater than, say, them moving down if they lose, if that makes a lot of sense. I don't see them being a lot worse off than maybe the potential for them being better if they win the conference championship game. Let's go to Brad in Duncansville. Brad, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, Josh. How are you, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I have 3 points for you, if I can make it quick. Do you
Please,
think
quickly.
The Penguins will go out and get somebody, find a winger until Hornquist comes back? And I have my prediction for the Seattle game tomorrow.
All right.
34-21 Pittsburgh. And I have a Pirate question. I would like to see the Pirates go out and get Adam Jones. Do you think they'll go get Adam Jones for outfield?
Thanks for all three. Let's break these down one at a time. What was the first thing again? Penguins getting a winger as long as Hornquist is out. Depends on how long Patrick Hornquist is going to be out. I can't answer that question. Concussions are a weird thing. They can be a couple days. Matt Murray's last one was a couple of days. Sidney Crosby, his was months. You just never really know. Concussions are a tricky thing. It depends on what the long-term prognosis is, and I don't think we're privy to that information. We may never be until he probably comes back. So if it continues to be a long-term thing, maybe they look into that. Me, honestly, I think they do it anyway, regardless of Patrick Hornqvist's situation. I think there's going to be moves made within the next couple months between now and the trade deadline. So I think it happens either way. As far as the Steelers' prediction tomorrow, I think there are opportunities in the pass game. They're going to have to do some things. As far as the Pirates, I can't remember what your question was. That was a lot to try to remember. Adam Jones at right field. That would be nice. He's probably going to come with a nice price tag, especially if it's going to be on a one-year deal. Knowing him, he's probably going to want a couple more since he's a veteran guy. Would be nice to happen, but it's probably going to cost you a lot, especially if it's for a one-year deal. Got to take a break. We'll be back.